Hi everyone, it's me, Soul Sweeper. I'm sorry for not making videos in the past couple of days. It's just a lot of drama has been happening in my life, and it's due to basically with my mother. You already know about my mother, stage 4 cancer, basically found out, and she's actually been in the hospital for a couple, 10 days, 11, maybe 12 now. It's been between 12 and 10, so probably 11. I basically lost count, but my dad, last time we said 11 days, so it's probably 12, maybe 13. But yeah, so just a lot of drama from my mom's side of the family, and with my sister, sort of, just, the drama with my mom's side of the family towards my sister, then my sister can't aggravate it, and then cause drama with my dad. And yeah, there's a lot of drama lately. So, yeah, I couldn't focus, and I kept on getting mentally tired from all of it. Also, I've been playing the MMO Final Fantasy 14. So, yeah, I've been doing that, and I couldn't really think of where to go for this, so I had to rewatch some stuff. But, here's something, someone gave me an idea a long time ago, and I was thinking about it, but I didn't know where to go with that, so that was on a pin. And now I know where to go with it. You see, I recently, probably last week, got a request for part 7 of my Ruby Deku. What if Deku went to Ruby? But I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make part 7. But the fact is, I may just make an alternate universe of where Zuka Midoriya doesn't go to Beacon, doesn't meet the crew right away, and he's known as the Vigilante of Ruby. So Vigilante Deku arc happens way earlier, but yeah. So I was thinking about that for a while, but then I said I don't know where to go with it, so I'll put a pin in it, and I may actually make that. But the thing is, there's gonna be slight differences. There's only gonna be staying the same thing. He's gonna get basically the ability to erase semblance and basically dust. Also, with he's not going to get the ability to copy said said basically weapons. No, that's not going to be there. He's also still going to probably keep the Grim and then be able to basically, turn Grims into his allies, yes. But that's going to be a different way. Because this one, you're going to find out, but just let's just say this. This in Midoriya, in this version, is going to be very more. Well, he was in Beacon, he was safe, he didn't really go out and, experience much besides all the fighting he experienced with, a large amount of Grims and people. But that one, this different AU, which I'm probably call it alternative, basically AU, and probably probably in the title, and I'll explain more into that. But yeah, just know this: he's gonna become basically something fierce. And that I do have a ship in mind for who Zuka could be within that one. Which would be kind of funny because, how should I say this? They'll have interesting basically encounters. And it'll be just funny. But yeah, anyways, let's just get into this what if. So, this is basically, what if Naruto found the berserk armor? Part 3, finally! So, yeah, we're not going to go do a recap, we're just going to get into it because I wasted enough of everyone's time explaining about an idea, even though I came up with multiple different Naruto what ifs ideas. I also came up with some E-save ones. I'm long for Bell one. I got too many ideas. Anyways, that's what I was saying. So, basically, we have them basically in the tuning exams. They just entered, basically from the first, basically area. The get-ins, basically, are just all around as Naruto's thinking, you have to be kidding me. Why are they all here? I mean, we didn't even go up that many stairs. It's only the second floor, he's thinking to himself. And then he basically kind of blinks. He's like, wait, is that genjutsu. He doesn't understand how he's able to detect this. And basically, inside his head, inside the seal, Kurama's just blinking. He's like, wait, is he actually sensing it? Or is it just... He basically, spreads his chakra, and he's like, his instincts are telling him it's an illusion. Huh. This is strange. Never seen a human basically use their instincts this much before in anything. Let's see how far this will take him. Which, well, he's like, Oi, Sasuke. Which Sasuke's like, yeah, Naruto? You're basically gonna try to basically use your Chiha give me a minute. Your Chiha superiority. I'm sure I said it before. Ugh. Superiority. There we go. I don't know why I'm having trouble with saying the full word sometimes. My bad. But anyways, Sasuke just blinks and then smirks. It's like, of course. And Sasuke's gagging on the inside, saying she hates acting like this. Which Naruto just sighs, be like, this is for the weak to be filtered out. Don't. Which basically Sakura's like, don't tell basically Sasuke anything to do, Naruto. Which Sasuke, kind of basically just, thinking about it, was like, you're right. But to be fair, having the weak around basically to hide against the stronger ones. Which Naruto thinks about that. He was like, if we hide amongst the weak, then we can basically then fight the stronger ones, and they'll think that we're weak. Which Sasuke nods. Like, there we go, dope. Which is actually, which Naruto's like, good strategy. Do it. Which, yeah, Sasuke shows his superiority. Yeah, like he would in canon, basically. Well, he basically saying about the genjutsu, basically doing the exact same thing. But the only difference is, it was planned, and when Lee basically wants to fight him for basically, to basically test his might, Sasuke just scoffs and just walks past him. We're like, I have no time for this. Besides, Naruto can beat you basically better than me. Beat you and be better than me. Which basically leaves Sasuke like, perfect time to see basically my childhood friend's basically skills. Which Naruto's like, oh, he's like, thinking, says, Sasuke, I know what you're doing. And I hate it. But who cares? So, yeah, Naruto's looking at Lee, and basically he can tell just by, Lee's basically, body language. He thinks to himself, and basically, because all of a sudden, he had a relaxed face and annoyed, but now it's all of a sudden serious, which that kind of shocks Sasuke and Lee, which he basically says out loud, like, you're stronger than me, that's for sure. I never put as much hours as you did into into my training. Which Lee's like, Lee basically raised up his eyebrows and shock. He was like, you can tell just by a glance? He goes, that in your aura. I'm actually getting excited to actually fight you. Basically, I never said Naruto. I've kind of went through basically my old what ifs. Not my old what ifs, my first two parts, and I never said basically about him but the sword ever basically changing. So I want to say basically a flashback, because I think it's kind of needed because I really probably wanted to do it, but I never did. Well, that could be for later, but yeah. Anyways, so Naruto basically would go towards the sword, as then basically all of a sudden there's a glowing light, and then it just disappears. But it looks up, but basically a wolf is around his. A wolf basically wristband is around his wrist, which Lee's just like, how did you? He goes, it's one of the seals I got on my sword, basically by my clan. It's not bad, huh? Which is like That's amazing. basically he goes on to saying about the power of youth, basically, of a family strong, basically, even today, which Naruto's like, yeah, let's just fight. Which, basically, though Sasuke, in Sasuke's, form, just like, okay, that is unfair. Which Sakura just blink in and be like, that's very weird. And meanwhile, with Tenten and basically Neji just looks and past while basically Tenten was amazed by the size of the sword, and now it's just gone, and basically her turn to a wristband. She's basically shocked, a little bit upset, a little bit mad because she thinks it can never turn back. But, but still amazed by the size of the sword. So, basically though, Naruto gets into a fighting stance, basically, that he's been working on, while basically Lee basically gets into his fighting stance that Lee can see with just by looking at Naruto, his fighting stance is that he only had basically, a couple of days, maybe to a month, a couple of months to train, and it's not the best. It's basically high Genin, which Lee can already tell that it is basically suitable for him, because it relies on speed but power, like Lee's. But this one basically relies on, more physical strength than basically most people can handle, because of you can already tell basically from Naruto that he's basically put a lot of hard work into this. So Lee would just basically say, "Are you ready?" He goes, "Naruto Uzumaki." He goes, "Naruto Uzumaki, are you ready to face me, Rock Lee?" Basically, and he goes like, "And let me guess, you're the basically green beast of Konoha." He goes, "Yes, actually. How do you know that mod?" It was like, "Oh, just my sensei told me about it, about basically his eternal rival." He says, "quote unquote," student saying that. He goes, "You know Guy Sensei?" Which Naruto was like, "Yeah." Then he thinks to himself with the flashback now. He goes, which Naruto is basically swinging the sword, basically, basically pushing his body to his limit, and basically goes like 675, 678, 600, basically an 80. Which Kakashi comes back with a groan, as when Naruto basically kind of sees that he loses count, but then he accidentally poured chakra into basically a seal that was on the butt of basically the grip, basically, as then all of a sudden it just turns into the wristband of a wolf, which Naruto's like, okay, that's very useful, and wow, this is really heavy. He's just moving his arm slightly. He's like, it still has the weight. Which, basically Kakashi's like, that is useful. Which Naruto's like, "So, what's wrong, Kakashi-sensei?" He goes, just might guy. He goes, "Might guy?" He goes, "Yes, a Jonin sensei such as myself, basically. He declares me as his eternal rival, and we have these sparring matches, but it's, more like just games we're playing. They can be fun at times, but sometimes they can be very annoying, too. Like today." Which he was like, "Huh, really?" He goes, "Yes." And he wanted to meet me due to me basically talking about one of my students in his training. And then he offered basically to give him, for basically him to give me pointers. Which Naruto was just basically nodding. He was like, "And what happened?" He was like, then he challenged me to his ridiculous games, or challenges like he usually does. But then I also met his mini-him. He goes, huh? Then he goes into explain about Rock Lee and then his saying, which he's like, yeah. Yeah, I can understand now, Kakashi-sensei. That does sound like it's annoying. Which he does nod. He goes, anyways, though, after our little basically challenge, he basically told me basically about it. I told him you can use chakra, so he said weights could help. And, since we're basically in your old compound, your parents' compound, I think we basically can use Shadow Cleanse Brush, to progress your basically Fuin Jutsu, basically knowledge. to the point where we can learn, to the point where you and me can learn about gravity seals and how to apply them. Which basically, Kakashi makes 2 cage bunch, and which Naruto makes about a good 20 of them, which he nodded and he was like, good idea. I think I technically had plenty of weight right here on my wrist. But I do think more weight would be needed. So Naruto is wearing gravity seals and resistance seals, and they're only a good 2, actually 3 at the moment since he's always pushing himself. So basically Naruto lets Lee take the first move, and Naruto realizes he is fast. Naruto's with instincts was able to dodge the attack barely, but he also throws a punch, basically while dodging, which Lee basically dodges too, and then basically tries to knee Naruto in the gut while Naruto uses his left arm to block that knee, and basically does send Naruto flying, which Lee can already tell from basically that hit. That hit, basically, that should have broke Naruto's arm, but the fact is, basically it feels like his clothing's metal. Which Naruto's thinking to himself, okay, it's a good thing I'm wearing the armor, even though it's clothing. So Naruto lands, he goes like, not bad, I can feel that even with my clothing on. Which Lee gets back to his stance, which he goes, I'm basically very surprised that your clothing feels very dense like metal. But still, that should have broken your arm. I was surprised by your basically counterattack. Which Naruto's blinking and he thinks, that would have broken my arm? Actually, yeah, he's right. I gotta get a little more serious. I can't let my instincts out though, since he's a comrade. Which Naruto's basically just smirking, he's like, well, I'm gonna get a little bit serious. As then all of a sudden Naruto starts to flare up his chakra, which Lee basically, looks at him and goes like, are you going to use ninjutsu? He goes, no. Just helping me basically get a little more faster. Don't worry. As Naruto basically sprints at Chunin or high Chunin speeds, which Lee can see but very surprised as smirks. So basically Naruto and him basically are throwing punches and kicks. Naruto gets kicked in the head, but instead of flying, he uses that momentum to basically kick Lee in the shoulder, which sent Lee flying a bit, which Lee does recover quickly, and he smirks. Basically then, Lee basically goes basically at his max speed he could with his weights, which Naruto got on his legs, basically kind of realized his mistake. He should have jumped away with his, while he was in his handstand, instead of basically trying to, get to his feet. As when he basically tries to get a guard, basically Lee does basically get into it, and does basically the kick up in the air, and would do exactly the same thing as he would to Sasuke, in canon. So, basically, primary Lotus. But the fact is, the only difference, before even a kunai even gets, basically towards, the wrappings, Naruto basically Naruto fully knows what will happen, but here's the thing. He basically lets out just a brief moment, basically his killer intent and instinct, and grab the basically wrapping, basically swung I was about to say Neji, swung Lee around, basically then bring it to him, grabbing Lee's face, and when Lee basically saw him was basically a little bit of rage, but the fact is, it was not basically towards him, it was just enough to basically, give him adrenaline and boost him. And, Naruto basically then basically caught the kunai, basically with his other hand before it even touched the, wrappings, and basically lands on the ground, which basically Naruto basically, throws up in there and catches it. He was like, well, I guess whoever was going to basically hit this with your basically wrappings around your arms wanted you to stop using that technique. Sorry about that, though. They kind of let my, fighting instinct and, let's get the better of me for a moment. I was basically going to punch you, but I caught myself. So Naruto basically drops the kunai, basically saying, basically he admits defeat, which Lee knows basically Naruto, you know, reasoning, but to be fair, he doesn't know basically, the reason why, but, fully. Which Naruto's thinking, Gigi was right. This faceless demon within me really wants to have bloodlust. Well, a bloody battle, and let the bloodlust out. I guess I'm gonna get this way when I fight stronger opponents? And then he hears in his head, of course, but I knew you would basically ring in, well, your instincts. Which he's thinking to himself, oh great, you. He goes, of course, we're always here. He goes, oh, you also mean the fox? Which he hears basically just a actual, yes. Surprising you caught on so quickly. But anyways, I am your instinct, I am you. So basically, you can't get rid of me, kid. But yeah, have fun trying to control me. You're gonna need a lot of self-control. Which Naruto's like, oh, yay. So, basically, Naruto ignored the whole entire turtle and Mike guy, basically coming out of nowhere, which he's just like blinking, he's like, what did I miss? Which, basically, Sakura's like, release, which Sasuke basically and Sasuke just covers Naruto's eyes, but like, don't look, it's too dangerous, which Naruto's like, it can't be that bad, and then he hears somehow the waves, and he's like, I'm not gonna question it, just walks away. The reason why is if you guys are wondering why I'm making him a little bit more, sound a little more happier-ish, but, calmer, the fact is, one, he's not, basically, he doesn't need to be in battle mode right at the moment, but he still is annoyed with everything and hates, basically, Konoha. So, yeah, when they meet Kakashi, he will say exactly the same thing, but as Naruto White's a little bit roughed up, he just says, he met Lee. Which Kakashi is like, enough said. Now, all of you can go, and, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, which he was like, he puts a thumbs up, he's like, go get them, and with an eye smile disappears. Which Naruto's like, cool. At least my godfather is basically the best teacher I had so far. Minus Haruka. Yeah, minus Haruka. Which, basically, Sakura like, all the teachers were great at the academy. He goes, which Naruto then glares at him, he goes like, shut it, useless. They weren't. They stopped my growth as I told you. I was in a good mood. Had a good battle. And now you ruined it by opening up your mouth. Which basically just walks away towards the door, which Sakura's like, Sasuke, basically, tell him off for me. Which Sasuke just looks at her, looks back at Naruto, or just looks back at her, looks at Naruto, and walks away silently. Which, basically Sasuke's thinking, no, he's absolutely right. She ruined our day. So, yeah. But Sakura's like, run towards, Sasuke. So, yeah, basically, when Naruto opens the door, basically Sasuke, everyone thinks, and, well, Sakura gets in, they can feel killer tent. And it's very, very, very minuscule. Sasuke basically is handling it basically better because she felt she basically has already felt this much killer tent before due to her being somewhat subconscious when Naruto killed those 3 civilians. And basically with Zabuza, it was a long time, so she never felt it. So, yeah. Basically, but Sakura, she's shaking like a leaf, which Naruto's just looking at them. And he just chuckles a bit. Which that makes the killer rise a bit. Which, basically, Naruto basically has a grin that says a little bit, sends some shivers down some people's spines. But Sasuke basically grabbed his shoulder and be like, and Sasuke be like, Naruto, don't. He was like, but they're asking for it. They want to see true killer intent? Let me show them. which he just sighs and be like, just send it forward, not to us. Which he just basically looks around, he sees the Konoha ninjas, and he's like, oh, sure. Let's basically also send this message to Konoha. The Berserker's back. Which, basically, that raises up an eyebrow toward, from Sasuke and Sakura. Then all of a sudden, that killer intent that Naruto basically unleashes. As when he does, everyone in that room and a little bit outside the room, and even the Jonins can feel it. And meanwhile, in the Hokage's office, we do have Hiruzen and Danzo and the two other basically, basically teammates were there, are having a meeting, but that's what goes to them later, I'm just saying. But they do feel it too, which Danzo, just chuckles. Which even Hiruzen would, which they're basically, kind of shocked by this amount. It's at least a chunin to high chunin to low jonin amount of killer intent. Which, some of the basically, the Genins faint, some of them basically jumping out of the windows, running away from this. Most of them just basically struck in fear as basically Naruto stops and he just smirks at that. He goes, real world people, this is our profession. You can't handle it, scram. Which, comes up basically, basically casually, which that kind of surprises Sasuke and Sakura, which basically Sasuke is like, you didn't give it to them too? Or let them feel it? He goes, oh no. Oh no. I mean, I kind of been focused my killer intent for the past for the month or two that we had. I've been able to basically get to the point where I can focus on basically the people I want to and let no one else feel it. Which basically Sakura's like, that's very impressive, which basically Sasuke would not be like, well, of course you had Kakashi Sensei living with you, so it makes sense. Which Naruto smirks, he's jealous I had basically our Sensei with us the whole entire time. Which basically Sasuke rolls her eyes, or Sasuke like, no, dope. I'm just very surprised you're able to even learn that quickly. Whereas Naruto gets a little angry, he's like, oi. Which, basically, before he could say anything, Ino basically decides to do her, acting. Say Sasuke and hug her, basically saying, don't you miss me? Which, basically, somehow, just by looking at each other's eyes, Ino's saying, I hate this. Sasuke goes, I know, I'm sorry. I don't know, I just thought that would be funny, but it kind of is if you really think about it. Anyways, Sakura was saying, get off of Sasuke, would do her thing, and everything would go a little bit like the canon, but, Naruto basically would, kind of just lean against the wall, just being, a little bit annoyed with a lot of it. But then Shikamaru, would kind of see him, like, hey, Naruto. He goes, hey, Shika, what's up? He goes, well, the usual, everything's a drag, and basically tiring. Which Naruto would not, but Choji's like, new clothes? Basically, while he's munching on his chips, he goes, well, yeah, sort of. I had these for the past couple months, and he's actually thinking, it's a good thing there's self-cleaning basically seals on this, so I never have to basically put in the wash. Basically, this is the only outfit I actually have, because I'm only going to be wearing this. So no odors, no wash, no cleaning. Even self-cleans basically from blood. He goes, which he's as I said, he was thinking that. Which basically, Shikamaru would not. He was like, yeah, that Kill Me Orange was really. He goes, I know, an eyesore. Which basically, Kiba was like, hey, why are you guys talking to him so casually? He's acting so different. He's not being loud or anything. Which Shikamaru was like, oh, that's simple. I knew Naruto was wearing a mask the whole entire time. Choji would not too. So he was like, yeah, for brief moments we saw it sometimes when he was glaring at the teachers. And after basically confront him, basically he kind of told us about it. He said it was basically, he hides his true personality, but, eventually he kind of just let the mask be him. Which Naruto goes, yeah, thanks guys for not basically leaving me after, Which, basically, Shikamaru just says, "Hey, it was fun. Still, you're Naruto, so it doesn't really matter." But Kiba just scoffs, and like, "Doesn't matter. He's a dope. And besides, he's also the dead last." Which Naruto kind of gets a little bit mad, and that he basically, looks at Kiba in the eye, while Kiba instincts are saying to run. Which he gets out in Kiba's face, he goes like, "So, dog, got a problem with me for being the dead last? Besides, you're only above me because of that. If I wasn't basically so bad, you would have been dead last. So, don't basically start, speaking a big game if you don't have basically the bite for it." And basically Naruto has a cruel smirk on his face when he's saying that. Which, that kind of basically is, not surprising towards Shikamaru or Choji, because sometimes basically before his mask became actual Naruto, he sometimes basically had those moments where he just said something cruelly about some villagers, basically, after what they basically said to him, which he told them, so they kind of know about the treatment a bit, not much. So anyways, though, basically, everyone's kind of shocked, but Hanata's like, "This ain't Naruto-kun." Yeah, she would be thinking that. Which, basically, Sasuke's like, just thinking, "Yes, show basically the dog who's, in charge. Please, he's annoying. And if basically he finds out I'm a girl, he'll be trying to get me to like him. So show him in his place." Which Kiva's like, "Doesn't matter. Besides, why are you acting like this?" He goes, "Oh, well, this is my real personality, as you can assume. And two, that go-lucky, happy, energetic, basically loudmouth idiot that I like to pull off was all basically an act. So I basically don't have to deal with much BS in my life from the villagers. Even though they're freaking demons." Which, that would kind of shock a lot of people in the room, including the Jonin. Which basically Kakashi there is like, "Yep, as I told you, Naruto basically thinks the villagers as demons." Which then Naruto, kind of basically looks at him and goes like, "What? There's only a few people who are actual people to me. Everyone else is a demon. I don't care, basically, if they suffer or not." Which Kiba's like, "That's mean of you." Which Naruto rolls his eyes, be like, "Mean? Try to have my life. Besides, my childhood best friend left because of them. So I don't give a crap." Which Kiba would just basically goes like, "Oh? Really?" He goes, "Yeah, got a problem?" He goes like, "What type of guy would?" Goes, "Girl." He goes, "Huh? My childhood best friend was a girl." Then Kiba has a huge smirk. He was like, "She'd probably be embarrassed to have basically a dopey like you as basically a friend." Basically, that kind of makes Sasuke twitch a bit, which catches Ino's basically, guard as she hugs, Sasuke, which she's thinking, "Don't push him, and don't insult him," she says in her head. She would then call him dog breath. And then he'll basically say this. He goes, "Besides, if she ever came back to the village, she'd probably want to have me as a best friend, not you." As before he can even finish, Kiba basically gets, actually gets grabbed and then slammed to the ground, basically by Naruto. As immediately, basically, Naruto has his fist as Sasuke stops, and he sees basically the pure rage on Naruto's face. He goes, "Don't ever say that to me again, or next time, I'll break your teeth." Which, that was shot. Kiba is making his instincts tell him wildly, basically, to get away, which Sasuke was saying, "Naruto, he doesn't know what he's talking about. My cousin would love to still be your best friend. She doesn't care if you're an idiot or not. Besides, she'll never like this dog breath. He's more of an idiot than you were." Which Naruto was getting up and he just glared. He was like, "You're right. Sorry for losing my cool." Which basically Sasuke would just pat his back and saying, "She's a touchy subject for you still." Which he nods and walks basically away to the wall, which basically Shikamaru just sighs and be like, "You idiot, you had to say that." Which basically that kind of shocked Sasuke, like, he goes, "All he knew is he had a child best friend who was a basically touchy subject. But anytime he talked about her, he always had a smile on his face, even though it was saddened." And he asked us never to basically ask any more questions about her, which Choji would not, which Hinata, Shino, basically, are kind of shocked by this. Kiba's on the ground still, basically thinking, was that really Naruto? He was serious. He would have broken my teeth, but no, he would have done more. He may have actually killed me? No, that's not Naruto. Yeah, which Kabuto would actually kind of lean in and, yeah, he didn't go. He didn't tell no one, because this was interesting to watch. So the fact is, when basically, because of that, Ibiki would come in and tell them all shut up and basically, sit down. So, yeah, everything like does will go like can. It's just, since Naruto basically has studied a lot more, along with his parents' scrolls, he may have actually been able to answer at least half to maybe 70 to 80% of them. The rest he couldn't. So, the fact is, though, that would be different. He would never need to cheat, but he would know about, and, he needs to cheat. But, yeah, he basically is confident in his abilities. Now, what happens is very simple. Naruto basically, would do what he would in canon, saying he doesn't care if he he stays a Genin or not. He'll basically fulfill his dream, basically, no matter what. In which everyone got the confidence boost. And if you're really thinking, does Naruto want to become a Hokage? I mean, I think I already said no. To be fair, I mean, he loves the village, just not the villagers. So, yeah. So, Ibiki would then say basically everything, was just a test to see who would, basically be worthy of Chunin rank. Or had the potential to become Chunin. So, the people who left. It was a little more because everyone kind of ran due to Naruto's killer intent, and the ones who passed out. So, there's a little bit more than, well, I want to say there's a lot more in this, Genin exam for Chunins. Well, the Chunin exams, there's a lot more Genins there. The only fact is, it changed, well, back to where it would be in canon, due to Naruto and Ibiki. So, yeah. So when Anko arrives, that'll be the same. Same basically, Ibiki's getting soft, since there's like this many people, she'll cut it down in half. Now, the fact is, the Forest of Death is where everything's going to change. A lot. This is where basically Sasuke's Sasuke's gonna be very different. Basically, Sasuke will be able to finally come out and not have to worry about anything, because she'll have the power, and she would basically, have the potential to go after Itachi, but will stay because of Naruto. So yeah. And this is kind of the only way how I kind of thought from the very beginning where I was going to go with it. Because, to be fair, a demon wants Naruto, and Sasuke wants Naruto. So why not give basically Sasuke even more power that doesn't rely on the curse seal? Where basically Orochimaru can never get her. So yeah. So basically, the whole time Forest of Death thing will be exactly the same. But Naruto will be a little bit, paying attention. So Kiba would do what Naruto would have done, not paying attention, and then boasted about this place doesn't look that tough. And when Anko would do her thing, basically with the whole entire kunai, basically grazing his cheek, licking it off. And then basically Orochimaru appear as a grassland. Giving back Anko her basically kunai. Now, when basically they get the scroll, Naruto's like, I got some seals on me that basically I could put into it. I'll put the scroll in. But basically can be used basically as a, it's different scrolls as a diversion because of my, sealing scrolls. Which Sasuke would, Sasuke, what they know as, would think about it basically, and Sakura like, Naruto, that sounds stupid, which Sasuke would just sigh, but like, Sakura, shut up. Just, that actually is smart. Which is, but it's Naruto Baka. Which he just sighs, basically gives him the scrolls, and basically Naruto has two exact sealing scrolls, and then he kind of just switches it, kind of like, just like switches it, basically. Then gives basically the scroll to Sasuke. Which he was like, how do you know which one's the real one? Basically, Naruto smirks and he was like, oh, only I would know because basically my sense of smell. It's pretty good. Which, basically, Sasuke would just nod. So yeah. So then he put it basically in his, his kunai holster. Well, because he only has one. So yeah. So when it's their time to go, yeah, the Force of Death. Naruto's not afraid. So they basically run in. Sasuke basically looks at, will it be looking forward, while Naruto basically, slowly starts basically to get, these different readings. As when the screams happen, Naruto gets basically a sensory ability of basically something was just, cut out. Which Naruto goes like, that's weird. Which Sakura's like, what's weird, Naruto? Which Sasuke, kind of glances like, yeah, he goes like, that after that scream, basically, or while that scream was happening, I got this, like there was a life energy there, then all of a sudden it was snuffed out. Which Sasuke would stop, along basically that would make Sakura and Naruto stop, which slowly, Sasuke looks at Naruto eyes wide and he goes like, you're a sensory type? Which Naruto goes like, I guess? Huh. Oh, this is gonna be a lot more fun now. Which Sasuke was like, no way. And isn't essentially type capable to sense chakra? Which Naruto was like, oh yeah. This means we're gonna have a lot more easier to find our scroll. Come on! As Naruto starts leading the way with Sasuke, be following right behind him along with Sakura. So, in a sense though, before anything else happened, just when Naruto goes by 10 minutes, all of a sudden, he stops and starts looking around frantically because he felt something dense, ancient, evil, whatever you can call that, basically would call this sensing because of a demon. Which Naruto's, kind of basically trying to not let his, emotions take him because he starts hearing basically, a different voice now is saying, kill them all! Which Naruto's like, where's it coming from? Which basically Sasuke and Sakura just, shocked, and Sakura's like, Naruto, what's going on? He's like, something's here. Now, it's everywhere. This presence, I never felt it before. My instincts are going crazy. Which that would shock them both. Which kind of makes everyone else in the forest stop, including Orochimaru, because they don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, with the basically the Hokage Hokage and Danzo, and basically the two other basically council members, Danzo immediately stands up, basically looking basically out the window basically around, and he gets a sense from basically the Force of Death, which he says root, as basically multiple different root ninjas basically come down. Basically, from where they were hiding, which kind of shocks the Anbu, which they're about to do something, but Hiruzen's like, Danzo, what's wrong? Which goes, there's a demon here. Which basically, before anyone can say anything, the root ninja will be like, Lord Danzo, we sense it basically near the Forest of Death. Due to your training of basically sensing basically demonic auras and not demonic chakra, we're able to basically detain basically how strong it is. We roughly would need basically maybe 100 to maybe 200 root ninjas, which he's like, of the highest class, S rank, which basically, they will not. That means basically is that it's a very old one. Which one of them basically council the male will be like, Danzo, what's going on? Even Hiruzen's, kind of a little bit, which he just sighs, basically, it's my clan curse. Which basically that kind of makes him quiet, sits down, and be like, it's real? I thought your brother's stories and the legends were fake. Which the female like, that means there's a demon here. How did it get here? Wasn't it supposed to be? Which basically he would nod and be like, they wouldn't come here because chakra is poisonous to them. Something must have drawn it here. Then his eyes widened, he was like, tell basically the other basically root ninjas, basically I will guard Naruto that didn't enter the forest, to go to him immediately. Whoever is there is going to be after him. Now! Which basically, they would, nod and disappear. Which the male will be like, what do you mean after? which basically Haru's gonna be like, the armor. He goes, not just that. His life is mostly similar to him. So, which Haru's gonna be like, to guts. So that means his will and instinct will match perfectly to demons that want revenge on Guts. Which, yeah, nods. So that would just kind of make basically them, the two other council's members, just be like, what's going on? So give me a minute. As basically after that, we do head over to where basically this person is just basically on a branch, near the forest of death, just smirking. Like, two were able to sense me perfectly. Well, maybe one wasn't basically able to sense me perfectly fine, but he's still young and inexperienced. That's the soul I was basically sensing. But the other one, she looks over to where basically the village is old and experienced. One who basically has suffered loss of a family member or two, and has basically resigned his emotions. Only recently have they fully came forth. But that is not the one I'm looking for. She's looking back at the forest. Clearly can see Naruto frantically looking around. And she goes, just wait, darling. Can't wait to meet you. But then she sees basically Sasuke and basically raising up an eyebrow. Huh, a girl. And she looks basically back at Naruto, looks back at Sasuke, and her eyes basically has basically a glint of mischief in it. She was also in love with him. Hinata girl basically, as I heard, her name basically also has a crush on him, but she's too timid. A shame. But I did have enough time to basically go through this whole entire world's, well, at least enough of this basically villages and other villages' laws. See, well, the Craw is one of them, but still, I don't think she'll be worthy of him. Or basically be able to when she gets older, maybe. Depends. So, yeah. So basically she will be watching, basically, well, this, being, aka Demons, watching Naruto. Which Naruto, kind of comes down and basically kind of thinking, okay, what was that? And why did I hear basically another voice that wasn't like the demons? Or haven't heard the Cubies yet. Which then the inner demon goes like, that was a demon. Which she's like, a demon? Yes. You are bound to basically bring them eventually. Maybe. If that curse is still effect on, well, your family. Even though Gus got rid of it, it could still be around. That won't because of me. Which Naruto's blinking, goes like, great. Whatever. Which basically Sasuke puts a hand on Naruto's shoulder and basically asks, you okay? Which Naruto looks and sees the worry in basically Sasuke's eyes and just nods softly, basically with a smile. He was like, yeah, just felt the sense a lot of something very old and ancient here. Maybe not in the forest, since it was sensed. I could feel it everywhere. But we have to be careful, just in case. Alright? Which Sasuke would nod. Basically, Sakura doesn't understand, but nods. So, they basically travel, through the forest. Naruto basically would, not get captured because he would grab the person who would try to, tie him up, and then basically throws him out, which the other two would come out, as Naruto basically goes like, I'm kind of was in a bad mood, but now I'm good. Let's have some fun. So, basically Naruto runs basically forward where Sasuke basically does Fire Style Fireball, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, and Sakura basically throws a couple of kunais, which basically are easily blocked by, one person, based by the person she's facing, which he will try to run forward, but Sakura will smirk, as then somehow in some way, basically, he'll trip and Sakura basically, basically use this chance to use her chakra control and, basically kick the person in the face. Somehow, basically send him flying, which Naruto's thinking, her punches may basically be strong, but I'm glad I don't basically get hit by those anymore. Which, yeah. Wait, give me a minute. Need to think something. Sorry, just my mind was kind of thinking about something else for a minute. But yeah, so Sakura's like, I knocked him out. Basically, Sasuke's finding his ninja, and easily won. Naruto basically grabs the person when he oversends a throw, capitalizes, they pull it in, and basically, shoves his elbow into the guy's stomach, basically making him coughing out saliva and a little bit of blood, and then he falls over knocked out. They found an Earth Scroll, which Naruto's thinking, let's not put this in the storage scroll. And he basically puts it in his bat, in his in his kunai holder. And so they kind of would travel along, not finding anyone until the gust of wind, and something would go like canon until, everything would go like canon when Naruto gets away, gets, up. Snake tries to eat him, but instead Naruto dodges it, lands on the tree, and immediately looks at the snake, and basically he's like, I don't have time for this. As immediately, he basically brings out the Dragon Slayer sword, but for some reason the snake is in shock and immediately poofs. Which is like, what? Why did it summon? And he basically runs back towards it, seeing what he can sense. So everything will go exactly the same until Naruto gets there. You see, when Orochimaru basically saw enough because of Naruto's killer intent, basically, already kind of, shown it. Sasuke was knocked up, but, basically, kind of knows it, but, they said the Koten was still strong, but she was able to shove it off along with Sakura somehow, because, Naruto, Koten may be scary, but sounding scary. Yeah, I mean, if I shove it off, they were able to shove it off, but not by that much, and they're so scared. Yeah. So basically, the fight will happen, which Sasuke basically said herself, she can't let Naruto can't leave Naruto behind, can't, basically let Sakura get hurt, as it basically pushed forward, and basically, thought, she has to, get stronger, basically, so she can protect, basically, the people she cares about, which is Kakashi, Naruto, Sakura, and, after she realizes, who she is, and basically Ino. So yeah, that point, pushes Sasuke forward, which Orochimaru saw enough, and, before Orochimaru even tried to basically, give the curse mark to Sasuke, he basically will make the hand signs and basically, extend the neck. He basically stops halfway, as then he just, he moves his head back, as then he basically, hears basically something split in wood. As then he sees this huge giant sword, as Naruto threw it, lands on it. And basically, he's not even armor form, but still, when he lands on it, it looks like basically he's just a wild animal on it. Not Kyuubi's chakra, just basically his glare. Basically a rage and basically hate, and somehow it looks like animalistic. Because technically still slit eyes because of it. Which basically Naruto gets up and basically grabs it and hefts it on his shoulder. Which Orochimaru is like, huh? What the? Which Naruto basically, he says that in his head though, which basically Naruto's like, Orochimaru, takes off that basically mask of yours. Which, he goes, how did a genin like you know about me? He goes, easy, my sensei told me about you a bit. Then he also thinks, and also basically the scrolls and basically the history books. Glad I read on them. Which he removes the face, and basically they see Orochimaru's, face. Well, face. Which Naruto's like, why are you here? He goes, oh, simple. I'm just here to give Sasuke basically a gift. Which, that immediately raises alarms, and basically Naruto's protective instincts of basically, comes in, and basically massive amount of killer intent is, going, but being spread around basically, which kind of basically doesn't really shock Sasuke much, or Sakura, but still kind of shocking to Sasuke a bit, because, yeah, which Naruto's like, what do you mean? Which Orochimaru was kind of shocked by Naruto was basically killing intent, but kind of shoves it off after a few minutes, and he goes like, "It does not matter to you, boy. All that matters is that you get out of my way or die." Which Naruto basically just makes his basically knuckles basically wipe at Griffin this handle of the sword basically hard. He's like, "I don't care what you are here for. I'm not gonna let you do whatever you want. Got it, you snake?" Which Orochimaru just looks at him and chuckles. He goes, "Alright, then boy, if you want to face a Sannin, then bring it." And he travels towards Naruto, basically gonna, fight Naruto, because he doesn't think Naruto can swing that sword. But in his shock and surprise, Naruto dashes towards him, immediately swings the sword fast, which Orochimaru dodges and bringing out, basically his sword, the Kusanagi, and basically extends the sword, which Naruto basically dodges, basically through basically using enhanced, chakra, basically, in his muscle. Chakra, basically, muscle, basically, what I mean by that is put chakra in his muscles to help him dodge, and then it basically puts some into his eyes, and basically due to his instincts, which Naruto basically still in the tree, basically runs towards him, and Orochimaru brings the sword back as basically they both clash. Orochimaru shot by the force of the strength of Naruto, as Naruto's like, "I'm gonna enjoy killing you, traitor." Which basically which he would say big words coming from just a green Genin. So this clash happens for a good bit, so they stop, jump back. Naruto basically runs forward, swings. Basically, Orochimaru basically blocks, but gets sent flying, because he didn't think basically that, kid would basically put that much strength in. Which Naruto basically would jump forward, but Orochimaru would start doing hit signs in midair, and you say it's a great breakthrough. Naruto basically, out of instinct, put this, chakra basically into a sword and slash right through it, and basically keeps on going towards Orochimaru, which kind of surprises and impresses him a bit. So yeah, he says this is another QB. So this fight would go on for quite a bit. Orochimaru basically uses some jutsus, while basically using also Kenjutsu, while Naruto's basically fighting against him in any way. Doesn't really matter to him. Basically, try and slash, kick him away, basically dodge, try to punch, gets parry, do basically and then try to do a kick. This is kind of basically making Naruto frustrated and gets a little bit more angry as some of the Kyuubi's chakra is coming out. Now, the fact is, because basically the Kyuubi's chakra is coming out, this is helping him enhancing his speed and stuff. The armor should be reacting to it, but the fact is, it's only slight. Which basically the eyes are red, which basically makes Orochimaru like, "Oh yes, I forgot. He's a container of the Nine Tails. Let me end this quickly." As when he dodges, he does the Shikifujin, which hits Naruto in the stomach through his clothing. That's what Orochimaru thinks. It slightly works. It's not fully on him due to basically the armor. So basically Naruto's on the tree, basically in pain, screaming, as, basically Orochimaru would just go down towards Sasuke and Sakura, because they would yell at Naruto, he does his hand signs, he goes, "Now, Sasuke, receive my gift," as basically he would, snake elongate, but then kick to the face by something, or someone, and sent Orochimaru flying to a tree, which, that shocks everyone, but Naruto's getting up, basically looking at Orochimaru, as he's starting to see only basically red. As then he hears a voice basically saying, "Wow, for someone basically as tainted as you, and your soul being so divided and evil, I expected more from basically the Demon Snake clan holder. But you're just a washed up fool." Which Naruto looks over, and then he just basically images basically comes into his head as he's like clenching his head as he sees is basically through someone else's eyes demons who are tearing up people. The rage he feels, basically, and then all of a sudden the moans and screams basically to help to save us, and then he hears that voice again, "Kill them all." because I just see Guts basically Spirit still being the berserk armor and basically being there, crap, and literally basically being angry for all eternity, in it. But before anything to happen, basically, he hears basically another voice, not the inner demon, because even the inner demon is just chuckling because it wants to kill this creature. As he just hears finally the voice saying, "You are lucky the armor protected you, and basically your chakra is evolved now because of basically what that creature is in front of you. But calm yourself. I sense no intent from her." Which he goes, You're the fox, aren't you?" He goes, "Yes, now, calm your mind, boy." Or should I say, kit. Which Naruto looking at the, basically, slowly looking up, he sees it. Wings, black hair, not black hair, red hair, and black, and basically wearing a, basically, tight outfit that reveals some skin, basically, but shows all the curves and such, but also basically has horns, and basically, basically no tail, as she's just basically floating there, and basically looks at Naruto, waves at him, and she goes, You're a demon." She goes, "Correct? Oh, and in 3, 2, and then also they hear her shattering. He goes, "That seal basically is finally broken on you, so your chakra is basically finally good. Now then." Why is it a snake summoner contract basically held by you, even if they are demon snakes? Which Orochimaru appears to be like, how do you know about them? And how do you even know that secret? Which basically, she's like, "Oh, I know a lot since, they are my kind, in a way." Which Orochimaru's eyes widen and goes, "Sure." As before anything else can be said, Naruto's there, and immediately basically, slash in motion, Orochimaru basically turns into a mud clone. And before anything, he can say anything, he hears someone sort of like, basically as the demon's holding Orochimaru's neck. And she just sighs, like, "A persistent snake, aren't you?" Which she's like, why are you? As his whole entire body comes out of basically the, ground, comes out of basically the tree. As then she goes, "Just be quiet." As she basically then just hits basically him in multiple pressure points, and then throws him basically to the side. Which, basically, Naruto's in shock as he basically goes towards his team, gets in front of them, basically, sword basically ready to strike if needed, and she basically looks at Naruto and then smiles kindly at him, which she goes, "What are you, demon?" She goes, "Oh, I'm a succubus." Which he's like, huh? She goes, "Yes, I am. Basically, I'm only here basically to basically see basically the soul that was attracting me too much." She goes, "Attracting you?" She goes, "Well, most demons don't come to the human world no more due to chakra, since it technically could basically potentially kill us. But basically, a few of my kind, few basically when I am a succubus, do come to elemental nations from time to time due to certain people that basically catch our attention. And basically, usually we basically spend our time with them, but eventually they age and die. Or, basically they would die basically due to illnesses, and we're there for them to basically the bitter end, and then we come back." He goes, "So you don't kill them?" She goes, "No, demons basically have evolved too much to the point of that. We don't really need humans to live off of no more. But we would find it a sport if some demons still go to the old ways." Which he's just blinking, he's like, "So, what does that mean? You're here just because of someone?" She goes, "You." Which Naruto's just blinking, and even basically this, whoever basically, sent, Guts' will / spirit is, in armor / the inner demon, and Kurama and him just all say exactly at the same time. What? Which she's like, "I'm here because of you." Which he's like, just, what the? She goes, "Oh, by the way, my name is Cassandra. It's nice to meet you, Naruto Uzumaki." well, Namikaze, so, which she's like, uh, yeah, which, I think Sakura doesn't really know, but doesn't really matter. She's not paying attention because a demon that's very beautiful is right in front of her, and she feels jealous. Because she thinks she's going to try to steal Sasuke, so she doesn't even notice she's only here for Naruto. Which Sasuke gets in front of him with a kunai, be like, I don't care. I don't care if you're here for him. You're going to have to go for me. Which basically, makes him sound like, try to make himself sound intimidating, growling at her, which she just chuckles and be like, oh, dear Uchiha, I have a deal for you. Because, well, even though basically he is a part of, could be a part of the Clan Restoration Act, I don't think you want to share. So, how about this? Me and you merge together, becoming two entities that basically live in the same body, but our souls are still connected, and I don't steal your soul after we basically unmerge when you die. And basically, I get to live your life and basically get to experience the world of chakra, since we demons can't use it. Which, basically, Naruto was like, okay, no demon can do that. No one. Which she goes, well, basically, witches were around, and basically, after evolving so much, we demons have become way more human-like. Some basically were disgusted by it, but over time they got over because of the power and potential they had. And basically, we have learned to basically use magic. So I can do this, and I do mean basically there are no strings attached. Which basically Sasuke's like, so would I become a girl? Which basically a giggle would come from basically, the succubus. Which she goes, well, I'll take your name, because I'm basically not going to reveal my name to any basically, humans. So yeah, basically, which Sasuke would nod slowly, which Sakura like, no, Sasuke basically would not basically take your deal. And besides, me and Sasuke get married, which basically Naruto just kind of like deadpans. Some Anbu basically are nearby, which Naruto can basically sense as, well, before anything else, Danzo basically would appear along with basically Hiruzen. Actually, basically, Cassandra. I think, okay, I know I said the name earlier, but, my mind just thinking of this name so much. Where she goes, oh, the Hokage and the Shadow Kage. But she turns around, basically, Danzo basically looks and, flares up his chakra, which she goes, settle down, I'm not here to cause a problem, or to kill him. Besides, she basically kind of floats over to Naruto, going past Sasuke, and just starts hugging him, which Naruto kind of blushes because she's really close and basically she's floating. So, yeah. Where she's like, too close. Where she goes, oh, come on, darling. Basically you'll love me. Which Sasuke immediately says, you know what? Forget this. Basically dispels the Genjutsu, shows Sasuke as a girl, and she goes, get off of Naruto! She basically rips the succubus off and hugs Naruto and be like, you're not taking him away from me! You're not taking away my best friend! Which Sakura's just like, Sasuke? Which basically Naruto like, Sasuke, she's not gonna take me away from you. She goes, no, you're my best friend. No one's taking you away. Not this demon succubus. No, never, no one. And hug him tightly. Which he just sighs and be like, you've been wanting to do this to me for a very long time. Which she just nods. Which Danzo's just like, he just basically, kind of just gives the cane to Hiruzen and then literally just throws his temple. She's like, only him, the unpredictable. Which Hiruzen would chuckle. Which basically the succubus like, so you're not gonna take my deal or what, little girl? Which Hiruzen would be like, what deal? Which Donzo, grabs his cane and be like, yes, what deal? As basically multiple Root Anbu basically have their swords, not swords pointed, and with some of them having chakra around them. Where she goes, oh, simple. I merge with the girl in body and soul, basically, but I take on her appearance. She basically gets my red hair a bit, and well, after she's dead, I don't basically, die with her, since I'll basically come back to myself. I go back to my home, but I also experience the world chakra, her life, and to be with him, since she's clearly madly in love with him, which Naruto's face goes red because Sasuke's still hugging me. He's like, basically Donzo has an amused smile on his face along with Hiruzen, but then the seriousness, kind of cuts in. He's like, is there any basically, well, not any basically deal, I mean, is there any loopholes? And she goes, nope. I don't really care, but I basically want to basically be with him, and she wants to. I know about that, clan restoration act, but I don't think many people will want to be with him in this village. But still, she also gained my power of magic, my basically advanced strength, durability, and basically my ability to fight in human strength and speed, along with basically, when she gets older and such, it'll be easier for her basically, as her job as a ninja to, handle everything, due to my vast knowledge and memories, because I basically have lived for hundreds of years longer than you humans. Besides, she's able to kill her, or should I say, kill or get answers from her older brother, which she basically immediately lets go of Naruto and looks at her, like, are you serious? She's, uh-huh. And, basically the icing on the cake, you have the ability to protect your precious people and basically your crush. Which Sasuke basically is, blushing now. And she goes, are you serious? And she goes, just to make it more easier, basically she, starts to basically make a magical seal on her hand. It basically says, this seal will basically tell you if I'm telling the truth. She goes, are you really just after Naruto basically for who he is, or just because he's, the holder of the Nine Tails? She would nod, basically. She goes, I just met him now, and I basically only learned from him basically for what I could, but I'm attracted to him because of basically his soul. Basically, someone so pure as him, yet has gone through such harshness and in life, yet has basically, never let it weight him down, and still have so much hate in his heart. It's truly basically a wonder, and I wanted to try to help him. But she was like, why though? She goes, because. I mean, certain succubi are attracted to that of humans with something like that, or due to strength, or, due to kindness. We're not basically purely demons. Well, we are demons by means of, our old ancestors. Which, she goes, so that means, she goes, uh-huh. Besides, you basically have the power to basically keep any guy away from you that you don't want. Because I'm immune to basically any types of mortal, toxins. Which she immediately she's like, okay, I'll take it. Which Naruto's like, wait, what? Basically, Hiruzen just sighs. Because even Don's like, she shouldn't take the deal. And basically, they kind of see the seal glowing green, basically. She goes, oh, and also, she basically puts a seal on Sasuke's hand. Basically, then one will appear on her neck. Goes, this is a contract just in case. She goes, huh? He goes, oh, this basically means you're my master, and that I can never disobey you. And the only thing I will want is basically from you to live a life, basically, in this world to get to know it better, since I've been curious about it for years. And also basically to, get to know Naruto, Uzumaki, and Nakaze better. Along with basically, maybe fall in love with him. Which Sasuke would just, kind of see basically the symbol glowing, and then She goes, but how this works? She goes, well, simple. I basically will appear in kind of like a spiritual form, astral projection, while basically we are still merged. So, in a sense, that basically astral projection will be able to still do everything I can for you, or for us. It's like a shadow clone, but different. Which Suki will just nod and, well, ask how this works. She goes, oh, quite simple. As in a magical circle will appear around both of them, with tying basically a lock around them. As then she goes, this may hurt a bit. As then basically when the chain that was tying around them pulls them together. Yeah, both of them do scream, but then light dies down as Sasuke will appear basically with her. Well, she had long black hair and such, but now she has a little bit more basically color to her skin than just being pale. She basically has a little bit of a tan, not by much. Basically, her hair is still basically long black, but now it has some red in it. And well, her eyes will basically be not black. They'll be kind of like basically I think I said they were they'll be red. They're not like basically the Sharingan no more. She still has the Sharingan, it's still gonna be red, but now just gonna be her eyes are red now. And she hasn't basically her body basically because of basically the transformation and such, it has some some alterations to it. Basically, it's basically more leaned towards speed, and yet basically she has a muscle for power, but also basically for agility and flexibility. But it's also basically there's wings on it, and she does technically have horns. So basically, I was just there staring dumbfounded as basically Hiruzen and basically Danzo, and along with a lot of the root ninjas just like blinking very, very confusedly. As Sakura's like, Sasuke is a girl. Just there, just mind shattering. Which, in a few minutes, basically, Sasuke stretches, and she still sounds like her. She goes, that hurt so much, but actually I feel a lot better. I guess it's due to my demonic regeneration now. But then she looks at Naruto, smirks, and just like, Naruto! Just jumps towards him and hugs him. Just, Sasuke? She goes, well, it's me and basically, basically Camilla. Or Camilla, Cassandra, whatever. But, basically, we agreed to basically go by, basically still Sasuke Uchiha. So he's like, does that mean you're, she goes, a pervert? No. Lustful? Yes. But, waiting. Besides, we're still only childhood friends. Yeah, which basically Camilla or / Cassandra basically kind of get the rundown of basically her memories, which she was angry basically, but that's exactly at the same time happy, and basically kind of upset too, like basically Sasuke was because of couldn't go towards Naruto and was afraid. So yeah, she kind of saw the memories, which Danzo just saying, for your knowledge. And from her basically memories, Sasuke, there was no strings attached like she said, and besides, that basically it was all in the contract too. So as soon as the mark appeared, that was how it was set, and basically also the seal for basically on her hand that was glowing, or should I say, my previous hand was glowing, basically to show the truth, which. Basically, Danzo basically would kind of look at, kind of get a read her chakra ain't lying, along basically, she doesn't, you can tell she's basically fully telling the truth through body language, and it just sighs. And like, I'm getting too old for this, which basically Hiruzen would just chuckle, and like, it's never basically a day of basically where Naruto and, trouble ever basically ever not comes around. Which he would just nod, which Naruto's like, GG? Or Hiruzen, I don't care if there's anyone here. Just, Orochimaru was here, and Camilla, or Cassandra, basically made basically the snake run away. Fair should let you know, we gotta get a scroll. And, he basically picks up Sakura, has the sword right on his back, like, we gotta get going. Which he would just nod. So, Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura will leave, and basically Naruto would, I mean not Naruto, but Danzo would just nod to have his route basically spread out. So, what would happen next is they would just find the tree, and basically Naruto and Sasuke just catch up. She does put genjutsu around her basically horns and wings, and she's basically like, so, how was everything basically, even though it's basically Sasuke? And he goes, tough, horrible, sucked. People still try to beat me up. I let them. She goes, why you never fought back? He goes, if I did, they would try to kill me even more. Which basically, she goes over to him, basically puts her head on his shoulder. She goes, sorry I was never around. Which he's like, it's fine. Just glad you're back. She goes, why are you not shocked by me basically being Sasuke? When she goes like, I may or may not have found out by reading your dad's journal. Which she's just blinking, and she's like, so you knew? How long? He goes, after we started trying to find out the Chunin exams. So the day before you gave me the presents. Which her face goes red and like, you baka! Starts basically hitting him a bit. Which you like, so not using your demonic strength? She goes, no. If I did that, you'll die, and I don't want you to die. Which she's like, but still, I'm glad to have you back. She just smiles at him and like, yep. Also, we got company. Which she's like, yeah. Kill them, or no, let them live. Besides, I could already smell snake on them. Which Naruto basically takes a whiff and goes, yeah, let Orochimaru basically deal with them. So, unlike in canon, they mollywopped them easily. They didn't leave them freaking just... They took out two, and the guy with the bandages gave them the scroll anyways, and they just left. But she's like, that was disappointing. She would just nod. And basically, Ino's like... She's basically just immediately comes out and like, Sasuke! You revealed it? Which basically, Naruto's like, I guess we were too engrossed in the fight? Which Sasuke just looks at Naruto's nod. She goes, yeah, I did. She's like, wow, that's great and all, but how did he take it? She goes, she knew. Well, he knew, Which, she's like, wait, and he goes, I just found out basically before she gave me her, the presents. And you knew? She goes, of course. My family and basically the Uchihas, Sasuke's parents were friends, so I knew. And basically, I wanted to keep the image saying, basically her basically being Sasuke would be kind of suspicious if I wasn't after him, or slash her. But it basically was a plan between us. Which basically Sasuke would nod, which Shikamaru were like, this is too troublesome. Which shows you just like, I'm just shocked. But how's Sakura taking it? Basically, he's like, which Naruto points her like, shattered mind. I think she may not be able to fight, or she may have to go to a hospital for serious help. Which, like, she was the biggest fangirl of them all. Which basically Sasuke was like, I know, and I don't care. But still, even she doesn't deserve that. Like, yeah. Say, do you guys basically need an Earth Scroll? Which Shikamaru was like, yeah, actually. Which he basically takes out from his bag, just hands it to him. He goes like, here you go. He's like, thanks. Which then basically Sasuke basically looks at Ino. And basically he's like, because basically while Naruto and basically, Shikamaru and Chochi are talking, she goes like, Ino? She goes, yes. You have that glint to your eye. She goes, no, I don't. She just, kind of get basically her, glare at her. She goes, we may be best friends, but I'm not going to share him. Which basically Ino's like, oh? Why do you think basically I even have any feelings for him? She goes, basically, I know you. You have that glint in your eye when you think a guy is cute or something. Which she goes, maybe, but since you're a girl, I can stop hiding basically my feelings. And yes, I may basically have some feelings for Naruto. And besides, basically I read about the Uzumakis, which basically Sasuke be like just grumbling underneath her breath. which Ino just chuckles. But yeah, they kind of went to basically the area altogether, and they basically did the whole entire basically Scrolls and Aruka saying great job, and he was shocked to see he doesn't see Sasuke and what happened to Sakura, which basically, well, basically Sasuke turns into Sasuke, but the red hair is still there. Well, the red highlights are still there, and the eyes are red still. And just saying hi to Aruka, which she's just blinking. He goes, long story short, childhood friend nearly died. Overprotective father wanted to basically protect his daughter. Basically, very high genjutsu. So, he's like, ah. Well, and Sakura kind of handled the fact that basically the guy she had a crush on was a girl. Basically, Naruto said. He goes, I'll basically get her to the, hospital. Well, basically the medical area. Which, yeah. So, Naruto basically Sasuke would go and rest for a bit. And that's where we're going to leave it off, everyone. Hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.